amendment, and actually all the other 10 bills of rights, that it's very important for us to maintain our freedom and protect us against the tyranny that the Obama administration wants to put forth. So it's very important that we protect it. This crowd is going to do that.
I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Metro East Pachyderm meeting. It's great to see such a large crowd. I can't believe we've got a crowd like this. This is a little bit better. Can you hear me better now? Okay, great. I'll just hold it. I'd like everybody to stand, and we always open our meetings with a pledge, so if you would all stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, I'd like to give some special thanks to some folks that worked so tirelessly to put this together. Mary Gray, our first vice president. Mary had this vision of getting somebody from the NRA. She didn't really care who she got. She wanted somebody from the NRA to come and speak to us. So she started putting out some feelers. She worked with Don Carlos. Guy, where are you? I had some contacts, the Sturgises, Keith and Danielle Sturgis. Without them, we're looking at I also want to recognize some VIPs that we've got in the group. Senator Sam McCann, State Senator from Illinois. Tim Buchanan, St. Clair Township Supervisor. Melinda Hall. Where are you, Melinda? Jason Plummer. Everybody can knows Jason. Nick Miller is St. Clair County board member. Mary Carroll, St. Clair County Township, St. Clair County Township clerk. John McLean, who's chairman of the St. Clair County Central Republican Committee. And Greg Bridgman, who's a trustee for the St. Clair Township. I hope I did not miss anybody. I hope not. So.
Myron Neff.
Oh, Myron Neff. Myron. Monroe County, correct? Jerry Albrecht. And Jerry Albrecht is an alderman from O'Fallon, Jerry.
Andy Crothers.
GOP Chairman Madison.
Andy Crothers?
He's here.
Where is he? Anybody else? Okay, I want to extend I would like to extend a personal invitation to everybody to attend one of our regular weekly meetings or our monthly dinner meetings. We meet in O'Fallon on Friday, lunch meetings at noon at the 17th Street Barbecue. And on the fourth Thursday of the month, we have a dinner meeting which starts at 5:30. On those weeks where we have the dinner meeting, of course, there is no lunch meeting. Just a little bit about the Pachyderm Club for those of you who don't know. We're an organization that provides a means for citizens to become involved in politics. We promote political, practical education through topics, speakers such as what we have here tonight. We promote the development of political leaders in our community, and we assist in carrying out the principles and purposes of the Republican Party. So that's basically what we're about. We have a great time. Like I said, we get together every week, and if anybody's interested in joining our club, come out and just, you're welcome to come and join or attend without being a member, but we certainly would love to have you as a member as well. This time I'd like to introduce Mary Gray again, and Mary is going to tell us a little bit about some of the upcoming events that we've got scheduled, and introduce our Jason, who's going to introduce our speaker. Oh, one thing before Mary comes up, just a couple housekeeping things. I think everybody found where the restrooms were. We do ask that if you have cell phones on, if you put them on vibrate so they're not disruptive to the speaker. And during Mr. Keene's talk, if you would hold questions until after he is done speaking, that would be appreciated. Thank you. Mary?
I guess I gotta hold this with my glasses and a piece of paper. Okay. Our guest speaker for our April 12th meeting is James Herbert Harrison. Mr. Harrison writes contemporary books with a political thriller style approach. Coincidentally, he is also a self-described avid NRA member with extensive knowledge of Civil War small arms. The April 17th Pachyderm Club meeting, our guest speaker is Lauren Spinnick. He is also known as the free market warrior. He devotes much of his time teaching about free market economics and conducting economic literacy seminars. I'm not sure if Mr. Spivak is an NRA member, but I'll be sure to ask him and have an application ready to hand to him. And introducing tonight's guest speaker is someone who's near and dear to many of us in this room. Jason Plummer is a local businessman, entrepreneur, and an officer in the United States Naval Reserves. Jason, like most of us in this room, he's a fervent gun enthusiast, a proud NRA member and supporter, and a strong advocate for the protection of our Second Amendment rights. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce Jason Plummer.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. And before we get too far into the speeches, I'd like to thank everybody from the Doubletree for helping put this on. They've done a phenomenal job. And we're not here to sell stuff, but let me tell you, if you have not taken the time to go to a Pachyderm meeting, if you haven't taken the time to visit their website, learn about all the wonderful things they do, it's a great organization. They do a phenomenal job, and I really encourage everyone to get out there, get more involved, because you won't find it's not just a group of like-minded individuals, it's a group of friends, and you guys will really enjoy it. So please look into the Pachyderms. Yeah, absolutely. We're really blessed today to have David Keene, the president of the NRA, here. I was talking to him earlier, and he said since last September, he's been on the road at least 4 days a week advocating for our Second Amendment rights. And we appreciate that very much. We appreciate all you do. For those of you that aren't familiar, local trivia, Dave Butts, phenomenal football player, St. Clair County resident. He's also on the board of directors of the NRA. wasn't able to make it tonight, but look Dave up sometimes and realize that St. Clair County, Madison County, the Metro East is represented well at NRA headquarters by Dave Butts, so we'd like to thank Dave for everything he does as well. If you haven't taken the time, get to know the NRA. It's not just, it was actually fascinating. I was sitting in on Mr. Keene's media interviews. It's not just lobbying and advocating. It's education. It's the Friends of the NRA banquets. It's everything they do to advocate the Second Amendment, to educate about the Second Amendment, and we're just truly blessed to have them here. I was thinking about coming up here and saying, okay, raise your hand or stand up if you're a member of the NRA, but I don't want you to, because I wouldn't want to embarrass anybody that's not in this room. So, because I saved you from that embarrassment, in return, I ask you to go home tonight and go onto the NRA's website and become a member. Become a member of the NRA. I know we've got endowment members here, we've got life members, we've got regular members. There's nothing more important than you can do for this nation, for your government, than to join the NRA to protect the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment protects all of our other rights. Just keep that in mind. So, appreciate you all looking into that. I really would. So, without further ado, the person you're here to listen to tonight, I've got a lengthy bio, and this is one of those bios that there's a lot of things left out, because this is a person that's done a lot of things. He was an advisor to Vice President Spiro Agnew. Since then, since the Nixon administration, he's been a senior advisor to every Republican president through George W. Bush. You all probably have heard a lot about the UN Small Arms Treaty and everything that's going on over there. Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Keene was a delegate for the United States on behalf of the George W. Bush administration. And when he was there, we were able to run out the clock and do great things. And he's done a lot of things. The official bio reads as follows. David Keene was first elected to the NRA Board of Directors in 2000, and most recently served the NRA as first vice president. Mr. Keene currently serves as chairman of the Legislative Policy Committee and vice chairman of the Meeting Site Selection Committee. He's also a member of the President's Committee on Advancement. Since 1984, David Keene has served as chairman of the American Conservative Union, the nation's oldest and largest grassroots conservative lobbying organization. He's also a managing associate at the Carmen Group, a lobbying firm in Washington, D.C. David Keene is an attorney, columnist, political activist, and lobbyist who's written, spoken, and lobbied on behalf of hunters, shooters, and firearm owners for decades. He has worked in the White House and Congress and has been involved in nearly every congressional battle over gun rights since the early 1970s. David Keene attended the University of Wisconsin Law School, where he was the national chairman of the Young Americans for Freedom. Most importantly, native of Illinois, hails from Rockford, Illinois. So, I don't know what it says that the president of the NRA comes from Illinois, the only state without concealed carry, but I assure you this, no one works harder to make sure that gets changed very quickly. Without further ado, the president of the NRA, David Keene.
I will take questions. Somebody asked me if I was going to do that at the end, and I said yes, because I usually don't talk about things you want to hear about. It's best at the end for me to have a chance for you to get us talking about the things that do really interest you and the things that really concern you at this point. I'm glad you mentioned Dave Butts. He's a great member of the board of directors of the National Rifle Association. I have to tell you, though, for those of you who know him, he is a great shotgun shot. And not only that, and I'm only telling this story because